It is time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. All sorts of questions this week. I've seen you guys asking me about some trades, potentially from Micah Parsons, Ja'Lynn Polk. Also, a lot of talk about training camp and more. We'll get to everything you need to know coming up here on today's show. Let's begin with a $10 super chat from Gabe. Gabe writes, football season so close. Congrats on your recent success. Thank you, Gabe. What can we expect the plan to be when Rasheed is suspended? Very good question. I think the plan is that Xavier Worthy is going to be that guy. He is going to get the majority of the targets. I think they're just going to ask more of everybody, from Travis to Noah Gray to Hollywood, Jalen Royals. Everybody's just got to step up. Just get through that 4 to 6 games, whatever it is. At the time of this recording, we don't know just yet. Haven't seen the official suspension come down at this point, but I think that's what we're looking at is just everybody's got to step up, just get through that, and then be ready to go when Rasheed comes back, and I think that they can handle it, and they'll be just fine. Shad with a $2 super chat writes in, will McDuffie get highest paid cornerback contract? I don't know if the goal necessarily is for him to be the highest paid corner. I think he would like to be. But I think if it's a priority for Trent McDuffie, it's probably the guaranteed money that he's more focused on, is making sure he gets that bag secured with the majority of that contract. I think that's going to be what his focus is. He will be one of the highest paid corners in football. But as far as what he's going in there for, I think the focus is on that guaranteed money, and I expect him to get a lot of guaranteed money. And I think that we'll get a deal here done pretty soon, probably before the season even begins, with the way the cornerback market has gone, with Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley getting paid. I don't think the Chiefs want to risk waiting too long to pay Trent McDuffie and seeing his price tag jump up even further. Shad with another super chat. Would you re-sign all of KC's 2022 draft class? All right, let's go over the 2022 draft class piece by piece. All right, the answer is no, by the way. And some of the guys don't even play here anymore from the 2022 draft class. So you can't re-sign all those guys. But with that said, let's just go through them piece by piece. McDuffie, yes. Karlaftis, you've already done that. Sky Moore, hell no. He might be caught in a couple weeks. Brian Cook, yes. Leo Chanel, yes. Joshua Williams, no. He might get cut in a couple weeks. Jalen Watson, we'll see. I think there's a chance that it's a short-term deal with Jalen Watson, or maybe they do like a sign-and-trade type of deal next offseason with the franchise tag or something like that. Pacheco, maybe a short-term deal, but I think the goal with Pacheco should be run him into the ground this year as much as possible, and then either you sign him to a short-term deal or you replace him with a younger, cheaper, fresher running back. And then Najee Johnson, no. So short answer, no. Long answer, about half those guys I would consider. Folks, want to make sure not only that you are subscribed to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, but you're part of what we call the Noti Gang around here. Those are the folks that have their notifications turned on. They're the first to know when we have new content here on the channel as we bring you the latest happenings around training camp. We got watch parties starting here pretty soon for the Chiefs preseason games. We're going to be live for almost every game this season. Breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. Maybe you want to be a part of our next mailbag segment. Well, if you turn on notifications, you'll be the first to know when we go live and bring you a mailbag here on the channel. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Turn on notifications. Hit that Noti bell. If you're part of the Noti Gang, spam Noti Gang in the comments section. We appreciate you all. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. You'll be glad you did. Tony, you're in the mailbag. You're in the mailbag, Tony. You're in the mailbag, Tony. Tyler, for the first week of training camp, who are your winners and lovers? I think he means losers. Love is dead. I found out the hard way in Phoenix last week. Winners and losers from training camp. Big winner, Josh Simmons. I'd say Jalen Moore, even though he hasn't won a job yet. Just the fact that he's getting first-team reps at multiple positions, he's a winner. Travis Kelce coming in good shape, he's a winner. Let's see, some other winners. from training camp to this point. I'll go McDuffie. I like him playing the nickel spot again. That seems to make more sense. Losers, Jawan Taylor. Got banged up, and then he is now competing for his job, despite all that money he's being paid. Hollywood Brown getting banged up. Hollywood, can you stay healthy? I know it was a minor injury, but still. Those are the ones that are off the top of my head when it comes to winners and lovers in Chiefs training camp at this point. Thank you, Tony. Diehard fan, Fearless Leader. Hello, sir. Salute to you. Could you see the Chiefs trading for Micah Parsons? Well, at the time of this recording, Micah Parsons is still a member of the Dallas Cowboys and does not have a new contract. And Micah Parsons is expecting to get paid a handsome sum of money to likely be the highest paid edge rusher, maybe even the highest paid non-quarterback in all of football. And can you blame him with his production? 13 sacks in 2021, 13 and a half in 2022, 14 in 2023, 12 in 2024. He has been awesome, really since day one with the Dallas Cowboys. And might I add, he is only 26 years old. One could argue his best football is still in front of him, folks. With that said, Micah will not come cheap. He will require a lot of draft capital to make a trade. And I don't think the Chiefs can afford him, and I don't think they want to give up that much draft capital. Would Micah make the Chiefs better? In the short term, yes, but there would be long-term ramifications for pulling off something like that. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be trading for Micah Parsons, and that would be out of the ordinary. That would be unorthodox for the Chiefs to make that type of trade for Micah Parsons. I just don't see it happening. Put your GM hat on. Should the Chiefs trade for Micah Parsons? It's our pinned comment today. Got two options. Type T for trade, P for pass. Might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know if they should trade for Parsons or not. Marcos, man, Vikings 18. Are you a Vikings fan, Marcos? What's your prediction, Chiefs or Cardinals? It's a preseason game. Who cares? Chiefs, I guess. Sure. I really do not care about the final score. Nor should you care about the final score unless you're betting on it, unless you're wagering. Which, if you're wagering on preseason games, you probably have a problem. You're probably a degenerate of sorts. But Chiefs, sure. Okay. Next question. Pete is wild. Pete Carroll, 70-year-old man and going shirtless. He might enjoy himself in Barcelona on the beaches there. Could the Chiefs trade for Ja'Lynn Polk? So this one is a bit odd to me. There's been rumblings that the Patriots, even though he's only been there a year, could already be looking to move on from Ja'Lynn Polk. I liked Polk coming out of Washington. That was a talented offense there. When you had Michael Penix at quarterback, Rome Odunze at wideout, Ja'Lynn Polk was there. They had some dogs. They won a college football playoff game, beat Texas, won the Pac-12, beat Oregon, not once but twice that year. Played for a national championship against Michigan. That offense was fantastic. That defense was awful. That was probably the best team Kalen DeBoer is ever going to have. And Ja'Lynn Polk was a big part of it, even though there was a lot of attention on Rome Odunze. I think Polk's a good player. I don't know why he wasn't utilized more in New England. Kind of odd that he played in 15 games and only had 12 catches. But if he's on the trade market and it only costs me like a 6th or 7th round pick, I'd be very intrigued, actually, to give Ja'Lynn Polk a chance. I mean, is Ja'Lynn Polk better than Nico and Sky Moore and Tyquan Thornton? I think so. I don't hate it. All depends on what it's going to take to potentially bring him in. But if he's on the trade market, I'd be open to that possibility. Sound off. Should the Chiefs trade for Ja'Lynn Polk? Why for yes, in for no. He's on a cheap rookie contract, too. That always is nice. Tell me in the comments section what you think. Bell writes in, how much longer will Andy Reid be the coach of the Chiefs? As long as he wants to be. You know, one thing I get irritated with, and this is not so much Chiefs fans, this is more so people outside of the Chiefs kingdom. People think that Andy's going to retire sometime soon because he's fat. I'm dead serious. I'm not joking here. There are people out there that look at Andy and say, yeah, he's a fat ass that loves cheeseburgers, and his health isn't going to hold up, and then he's not going to be coaching much longer. And I'll say this. Is Andy a fat ass? Yeah. I mean, just being real. But have we heard about any health issues with Andy? No. He's a happy fat ass. Life is going good for him. I mean, have we heard about cholesterol issues? Have we heard about Andy, struggling to carry his weight? Not one bit. Not one iota have we heard about those issues. Would it help Andy if he probably dropped a few lbs? Yeah. That'd be good for his long-term health. I'm sure his grandkids would probably appreciate it. He's got a lot of grandkids. Mormon family. You guys know how that goes. But, I mean, I'm just not buying that. I think Andy's probably going to coach 5 more years. And that's all depending on if he wants to. Now, there could come a time, maybe it's this year or next, they win the Super Bowl, and he's like, I want to go out on top. I'm satisfied. But it's not going to be because he's eating cheeseburgers all the time and doing that thing. All right? Let's squash that narrative right now. Andy's going to coach as long as he wants to, and it's not going to be because of a health concern. It's going to come down to how much he's motivated, how much he wants to do this. And, if you're Andy, I'll put it in the simplest of terms for you. You get to go out there and you get to coach a generational quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. And you got this dynasty going. Even if he has some high cholesterol or something, why would you want to walk away from that? I mean, seriously. Andy's fine. Don't worry about Andy. Shad writes in, last question. Which defensive unit is strongest for KC? Very good question. I would not have answered this a year ago. I think it's the corner spot. Duffy's an all-pro. Fulton's a quality starter. Watson's a quality starter. Noah Williams, I feel pretty optimistic about his future. I mean, you're so stacked that you're going to be moving on from guys that will get picked up elsewhere. Joshua Williams, Chris Rowland-Wallace. I don't think Jabari Connor's bad. I like how they're looking at the corner position right now. I think that's a position of strength. For continuing coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.